What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Just watched the interview with Angel Garcia on Fight Hype. Make sure you guys subscribe to Fight Hype. Great channel. A lot of exclusive content. Make sure you check them out. I'll put the link to the interview that I watched in the description. Again, make sure you guys subscribe. It's about Angel Garcia. He's talking about, obviously, his son's fight September 14th on the Mayweather-Canelo undercard. That's Danny Garcia versus Lucas Matthysse. A great card. Like, I mean, it could just be those two fights. Those are really two main events, and I would be happy with that card. Like, if there were no other fights other than Canelo and Mayweather and Danny Garcia and Lucas Matthysse, I would sincerely be happy paying my money for the pay-per-view. But anyway, Angel Garcia, whether you love him or hate him, one thing you have to respect, he's definitely outspoken, and there's a lot of truth to what he says. I speak the truth, like he always says that. There is actually a lot of truth to what he says. Does he go overboard at times? Yes. Do I agree with everything he says? No. So let's just be clear on those two things. I don't agree with everything he says, but sometimes he does make valid points. He was talking in this interview about Lucas Matthysse, and some of the things he was saying is absolutely true, and you have to put it in perspective. Unfortunately, boxing has all kinds of fans. One of the type that you see on YouTube a lot is really biased, one-sided fans who have whatever grudge or whatever against a certain fighter, the fighter's dad, a trainer, golden boy, top rank, whatever the grudge they have it out for these people. They hate Broner, they hate Danny Garcia, they hate Zab Judah, whoever the person is, they hate them. They hate them with the passion to the point where they don't even look at it realistically. They just want them to lose, so they're not objective at all. I try not to be like that. Honestly, I give you my fair shake. Lucas Matthysse, Danny Garcia is a 50-50 fight in my book for several reasons. Both fighters have power. Both fighters have looked good in recent fights, but there are some variables. I mean, this is not a clear one-sided shutout. And again, if it is, in your opinion, if Lucas Matthysse just destroys Danny Garcia in one round, which could happen. It's boxing, but it can happen the other way around. This is boxing. We really don't know. Why would you even pay money if you know it's a foregone conclusion and Lucas Matthysse is going to walk him down in the first round and knock him out? Like, what is the suspense in that? Why do you even watch the sport? So, again, some of you guys as fans, you are impartial fans. You don't give it a fair shake. You don't really look at the situation. You want whatever fighter you want to lose. You want them to lose so bad to the point where you'll just completely turn like a blind eye to facts. And there's a lot of factual things that Angel Garcia said in this interview. Again, watch it, description. I have the link. Angel Garcia did say this, which struck a chord with me, and I have to agree with him on this point. He said, the big fights that my son had, he was expected to lose. That's absolutely true. If you really look at it, Eric Morales is a legendary fighter. He's a living legend. He's a veteran. He had just defeated Pablo Cesar Cano and won a belt. He went the distance with Marcos Maidana, a feared puncher at 140, who a lot of people didn't give Eric Morales a shot at that age he was at. They thought he would just get destroyed, and then he went the distance and made it a tough, rough and tough affair for Marcos Maidana, and it was a good fight. Then he fought a relatively unknown Danny Garcia, and he lost. Then Danny Garcia fought Amir Khan. Danny Garcia was kind of a last-minute replacement since Lamont Peterson tested positive for testosterone, and he upset Amir Khan. Amir Khan had plans to possibly fight Mayweather. Mayweather was in jail at this time, I believe, and they were talking about Amir Khan moving up right after he destroyed Danny Garcia, which is what he was supposed to do. He was the favorite. He was the fighter who had been in bigger fights. He had the hand speed. He had the reach advantage. This is what Amir Khan was supposed to do, and he was supposed to destroy Danny Garcia, move up to 147, and that's not what happened. Danny Garcia foiled his plans. He had to switch trainers, and he had to take some softer touch opponents like Carlos Molina, a fighter with no power, and Julio Diaz at a catch weight, and he's still struggling to try to rebuild his career. He's moving up to 147 now, but that's a truth. Danny Garcia stylistically was supposed to lose to Zab Judah. I talked to several people, Vids06, there's a bunch of people, not to call names out, but they were saying Zab Judah is going to kill Danny Garcia. And I don't blame them because they are avid boxing fans and they know the sport. Stylistically, Zab Judah should have killed Danny Garcia the whole fight because he's faster, he's perhaps more accurate, he has better movement, he's a southpaw, he hits you from angles. Danny Garcia throws wide looping punches. And Danny Garcia pretty much dominated that fight till the championship rounds where Zab Judah rallied a comeback and gave him problems. But these are all fights that, for one reason or another, Danny Garcia should have lost. The only fight that people probably didn't think he had a chance to lose was the Eric Morales rematch because Eric Morales was struggling to make weight. And the only reason that fight happened is because Morales had a rematch clause because it gave Danny Garcia opportunity to fight him in the first place. So Danny Garcia had to pay back the same favor when he defeated Eric Morales. But if you look at Lucas Matthysse wasn't supposed to lose to his most recent opponents. The only one possibly is Lamont Peterson. That's the only one that you could possibly say. But Humberto Soto, a fighter who's a veteran who had never been stopped, but he's a fighter that looked better in the lower weight division. Some people move up in weight and they don't look like the same superior fighter. Only certain fighters like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, or whoever can move up in weight and still look as good and still be as dominant. Vic Darchinyan, another fighter who has looked exceptionally better in the lower weight divisions than when he moved up. Same thing with Humberto Soto. He's looked better at the lower weight divisions. Where's Humberto Soto now? That's my point. Lucas Matthysse wasn't expected to lose to him. DeMarcus Corley, when Lucas Matthysse fought him, DeMarcus Corley had several losses. He wasn't expected to lose to Lucas Matthysse. Lucas Matthysse had a last-minute replacement with Mike Dallas Jr., a fighter who had previously been knocked out by Josecito Lopez, who is not necessarily a feared puncher, and he just got knocked out. So I told you, look at my prediction video. Look it up on my channel if you don't believe me. Search Mike Dallas Jr., Lucas Matthysse. My prediction, I told you, Mike Dallas Jr. is going to get destroyed, and he did. He got knocked out in the first round. That wasn't a mystery to me. I didn't expect it. He was a last-minute replacement, didn't have proper time to train. He wasn't going to be able to hold up. Again, a fighter getting knocked out by Josecito Lopez, and again, getting in the ring with someone who I think he rehydrated. Lucas Matthysse rehydrated to the 160s in that fight, I believe. Plus, he already has devastating punching power, and he's a skilled boxer. So, I mean, I knew Mike Dallas Jr. was going to get annihilated, and that's what happened. I told you that. Lucas Matthysse versus Lamont Peterson is the only fight where fans were probably split, where you didn't really just project Lucas Matthysse would win. Some people were really going for Lamont Peterson and thought he had a chance to outbox him, and he rose to the occasion to beat him. But Danny Garcia, if you look at all of his recent opponents, he was expected to lose to those guys, and then he ended up being triumphant. Another thing that I don't understand is why people hate Danny Garcia to the point where they're not even being realistic. By comparing Lamont Peterson in his fight with Lucas Matthysse to Danny Garcia versus Lucas Matthysse is stupid. I understand the need for comparison in the sport of boxing. However, you have to try to compare apples for apples or something close to. You guys go apples for fucking tomatoes or onions. Like, you take two different fights, two different style of fighters, two different demographics of age and all kinds of factors, and try to use that as your platform as to why your fighter is going to win. And that doesn't make any sense. What Lamont Peterson excels at is his overall defense, boxing ability, heart. He outworks and outgrinds his opponent. Look at Lamont Peterson. Look at his career. He's not a heavy-handed power puncher, devastating puncher. Where he excels is the things that I just mentioned. And he outworks, outhearts, and outgrinds his opponent. Look at his TKO and KO percentage. It's usually later in the rounds, round 7, 8, 9, 10, that he has those TKO stoppages. Danny Garcia, if you look at his TKOs and KOs, a lot of them come in the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, early in the fight. That goes to show you that he has some significant power, unless he's fighting all bums, which you can't call Eric Morales a bum, a young Khan a bum. I mean, whether you think they're past their prime or elite, Maidana didn't knock out Eric Morales. Lamont Peterson didn't knock out Amir Khan, but Danny Garcia did. So you can't really compare Danny Garcia's style and what he brings to the table to Lamont Peterson. Is Peterson a better fundamental technical boxer? Yes, but at the same time, he lacks power. He lacks that shocking, respectable, I'll hold you back power. So honestly, I think Lucas Matthysse knew Peterson couldn't hurt him, and he came out to prove a point. And he came out really aggressive, and he was walking through Peterson's shots with the idea that, hey, my chin is sturdy enough, and I'll hold up, and I'll take whatever in order to land my devastating shots. And he was able to get Lamont Peterson out of there. However, I honestly, sincerely believe Lucas Matthysse is not going to be able to come out super aggressive like he did with Lamont Peterson, with no respect for Danny Garcia's power. Danny Garcia has power, and he's a good counterpuncher. So it would be foolish for Lucas Matthysse to come in with the same game plan. He's not going to be able to walk through Danny Garcia's punches like it doesn't phase him, like he's the fucking Terminator. I really don't see that. But again, this is a good fight. Watch the interview with Angel Garcia. There's some truthful things that he said. I do agree with him. A lot of things he said in this particular interview, not in general. Sometimes he goes way off and calls Amir Khan Aladdin and all kinds of extra shit. He told Zab Judah he had a Janet Jackson. Take that motherfucking Janet Jackson hat off. That was hilarious. But again, these are different types of fights. So when you compare fights that are remotely similar. When people say, hey, I think Floyd Mayweather beats Manny Pacquiao based on how Marquez has looked against Pacquiao, that makes a little bit more sense, because if you look at Marquez's best attributes and what gave Pacquiao problems, it was the fact that Marquez is a pure boxer. He was counterpunching and timing Pacquiao. So you look at Floyd Mayweather does what Marquez does, but he does it better in general. He's faster than Marquez. He has better footwork than Marquez. He's more accurate. Don't take my word for it. Look statistically. Floyd Mayweather is a more accurate puncher than Juan Manuel Marquez. These are facts. And he's faster. I mean, who's going to argue with me that Marquez is faster than Floyd Mayweather in terms of reflex and hand speed and even footwork? I mean, there's really no argument. So when you make comparisons like, hey, I think Floyd Mayweather will beat Pacquiao based on the fact that this style of fight has given Pacquiao problems in all their fights, and Mayweather does what Marquez does, but he does it better. And Mayweather fought Marquez's style of fighter, and he fought Marquez, and he outclassed him for 12 rounds. So that argument makes more sense. But to compare what Lamont Peterson and Lucas Matthysse look like versus Danny Garcia, I mean, those are clearly different. I don't think Lamont Peterson had the firepower to hold Lucas Matthysse off in the early rounds. Danny Garcia, again, I think he has more pop and more crack on his shots, to the point where Lucas Matthysse can't just walk him down head first without any fear of getting clipped. And that's kind of what Angel Garcia was saying. So let me know what you guys think of this fight. I think it's a hell of a matchup. Like I said, I got to study tape before I make my actual prediction. Both fighters have a chance to win. That's the point of this video, despite some of the comments you guys are leaving. Both fighters are in this fight, and it's going to be a real good fight. I just have a feeling. So let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next videos, Ego signing off.